Hey guys, I just wanted to do an update video of a game I purchased a couple weeks ago, Inside Pitch Baseball. Open it up here, you see all the teams that I separated the cards for. So I have the 81 season. Why did I purchase the 81 season? I always say I think that's almost like the forgotten season. When you go and you think about like baseball, the baseball strike, everyone kind of thinks about the 94 season. But in '81, they had actually had a strike in the middle of the season. It was from June to like August, and when they came back, they kind of split the season in half: the first half and second half. Also, I think the '81 season was played in between like two really good seasons, like the 1980 season and the 1982 season. So most people kind of like forgot about the '81 season. So I was kind of curious, and you know what? I think that Payoff Pitch was one, and then this game Inside Pitch was the only ones I think that sell like the '81 season. So, and I decided to go Inside Pitch. So I'm doing the '81 replay. So let's give you some, what you have in the game. The only charts you're going to really have on on your desk here when you're playing or your table is this chart right here is important to have. It's going to talk about ground outs and different things. One of the things I find about the game is that it's very more detailed compared to Stratomatic, and like even comparing to like History Maker Baseball. Like History Maker Baseball is like a child's game compared to like this game. There's a lot that you need to know. There's a lot of like it can be intimidating at first when you look at the rules, but once you start playing the game, you kind of like start like it goes kind of fast. Um, the one thing that I struggle with is strategy rolls. I find it's kind of hard, like, because you have to roll a d20 for a strategy roll. I don't know if anybody's into the game, but I find that's like the one thing I kind of like don't like about the game is just that I feel like I never have an opportunity to do like a stealing because I never get the right roll to attempt to steal. I don't know if anybody other players have that problem. I just feel that like my stealing is so low, and it's because I never when you because you have to roll like a strategy roll with the d20, and it has to be like a certain number compared to like numbers on the card, the pitcher's card and the batter's card, and I never have the right number in order for them to attempt the a stolen base, which I find that that's kind of like that's the only thing I don't like about the game. Another thing when I play, I always have this is the rule book. I always have this page open, and it's the runner's advancement. So I think this is really important. Only thing I wish that this was on a chart like this because it would make it easier because you have to like it's kind of hard to remember like the runner advancement because it's just if it's just if the extra bases and all that. And all this is like all the batting ratings and all that. So it would be nice if it was on this chart. uh, what else? And you also have the range play, like the rare play chart here. They don't come. The game doesn't come with score sheets. It comes with this like chart right here. I guess it could be like the game board, and then you can like fill out like the scoring sheets right here. I don't like really use that. I have score sheets that I use, and I'll show you. So what's interesting about this game that I find is that like say like you roll like a a strikeout or walk or home run. That stuff's not guaranteed. So if you did that in Stratomatic and you rolled like a strikeout, it's going to be a strikeout. You need to roll again. With this game, every player has a rating with like home runs, walks, and strikeouts. So I'm just going to bring Lee Mazzilli because I'm currently doing the '81 season. And if you look at his card, on the bottom here, you'll see like the K 14. So 1 through 14, if you roll 1 through 14, it's going to be a strikeout. Anything above, you just got to roll again on his card and see if whatever the outcome is. And you look at it's K in the W's for walks and home runs. So it kind of like slows down the game. Sometimes it's because like it's not just one roll because you start on the pitcher's card. I'll give you an example of a pitcher. This is again another Met here from '81. Pat Zachary. You'll start on this card, and then you look at the results. If you see like the blank on there, if you roll like a blank, like you'll have to go to the batter's card. So sometimes it's a two. Sometimes you can get two rolls. Sometimes they have something called like error checks on there. So that's going to be another role. There's range plays. Uh, Here, if you look at Lee Mazzilli, if you look at left field and center field, that's his ratings. So let's just look at left field. So 2 is the range, and in parentheses that 4, that's his error rating, and 0 is arm rating. So there's a lot so that kind of slows down the game. I find the game plays a little bit slower compared to like Strat and History Maker Baseball because again, there's always that second roll that you have to do. Some people like seasoned players will just roll all the dice at the same time. I sometimes like to do it separate, just for me. So I just want to talk about. I'm currently doing the 81 replay of the Mets. So basically, I chose the 81 season because you're not really playing the full 162 games. So it is for the Mets. It's like I think 105 or 106. So just want to tell you how I start. How I start doing a season and stuff. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's something that you would want to do. I don't know. So the first thing I do is I print out basically the schedule, and I baseballreference.com I usually go to. I use my Mac. I don't have Excel. I have something called Numbers. It's kind of like Excel, like a free version of it, and I use that to make this chart right here. So this chart, like on this side right here, is the schedule of what, and then the result, what happened in real life, and then in pencil over here is my replay score. So right now I'm at game 25. As you can see here in pencil, there's a lot of L's because I'm doing really bad. I was actually doing pretty good. I was surprised because the Mets were really bad in '81. Like the late '70s and the early '80s, the Mets were just like horrible. And I don't know. I thought maybe me playing. I don't know. I thought maybe I have a chance. I would win more games. I don't know. I was doing pretty good. Like I started like 9-4, and in real life they were like 4-8. Now I'm 11 wins and 14 losses. And in real life during that time, there were 8 wins and 16 losses. They also had a tie, which is kind of weird in baseball. I've never heard of having a tie, but that's one of the games was a tie. So where I played the game and the game was resolved, and I think we won. But yeah, that's usually what I do. I'll write down. I usually write down, in pencil here, the result, the score, and then what our record is, and then I write down the pitcher that pitched and their record. That's what I do. And then I also print out kind of like the like standings, and I'll after each game I'll go to baseballreference.com and change the standing. The only thing that changes is the teams that I play against, because that could change the standings. I don't really care about American League because whatever the way that goes, it'll play out. So I think the Yankees made it to the World Series. So if I do pretty good, my goal will be like the Mets against the Yankees World Series. And then what I also do is I have I print out like stats. So I have stats on my computer. Actually, after each game, I'll tally the stats and I'll add it. I have like a spreadsheet. And what the plan is, every 20 games I'll print out the stats and kind of like compare what's going on. So I have the batters, and with stats I just keep track of. I don't keep track of all the stats, like just like games. At bats, runs, hits, doubles, triples, home runs, RBI, stolen bases, walks, strikeouts, and like batting average. That's usually. And then I also have the pitching stats over here. I have a sheet there, and I'll again with the stats for pitching, it's like wins, losses, games started, saves, innings pitched, hits, runs, home runs given up, walks, and strikeouts. I know there's a lot more stats out there. Those are just the ones I really wanted to keep track of. Now, when it comes to score sheets, again, I said Inside Pitch doesn't have any score sheets. I even checked their website. I don't think they have one. I don't know. So the score sheet that I use is I use the replay baseball score sheet. Now I never had this game, but I do like the score sheet. Uh, one of the things I like about score sheet for baseball is I like a score sheet when it's one page. You can fit both teams on one page because it's kind of annoying. I use the one, sometimes I use the one from Strat when I play Stratomatic, where sometimes their score sheet you have to put the teams on on two separate pages, and it's like flipping back and forth, especially if you have like an error check and you got to find the player on the other sheet. So that can be annoying. I also like having like up on the top over here the innings so you can keep track. The pitching over here. And then also what's cool about the replay baseball score sheet is like this, like over here, you could write in the hitters or the players fielding numbers over here. So like I said with Lee Mazzilli, this is Trevina on the top over there under his catcher. You have his like player ratings or his fielding ratings, so you could just write it down here. So it's easier to refer to again because with this game it's very important because you'll be flipping through the cards a lot. So with this game because there's a lot of like error checks and there range plays, so you really have to like refer to that. So it's really it keeps everything a little bit organized if you can just add it right over here. Or there's not really much space to write next to their names, so I just write it on the bottom. And then the only negative thing, because I play because it's National League, so it's not like like American League when it's like a DH. It's like a lot of pinch hitting. There's not enough. As you can see, there's not a lot of space to write in pinch hitters. You just have that this last like thing right here to write in pinch hitters. So I really try to keep my pitcher in at least sixth, seventh inning, eighth inning, the most, because it just comes annoying like writing down like the pinch hitter and all that if you have multiple pinch hitters. So when I start a game, I usually go to baseballreference.com and I'll go to the game. So again, this is game 25. And I'll go to the 81 Mets season, bring up their that season, go to game 25, and I'll write down the batting order for both teams exactly how it was in the game, as you can see right here. Which is we look at the Mets right here. And that's it. And then on the back, I'll write down like pinch hitters they would use, and then maybe I'll write like some notes about whatever like relief pitchers came in the game. But that's pretty much it. I let the game when I play out as it happens. Like for example, let's say if like a pitcher only pitched like 5 innings, I'm not gonna just take him out in the 5th inning. I'm just gonna like see how the game goes. So like I'll play it, see how the game progresses when I'm playing it. So things can be different. Basically, the only thing the lineup pretty much stays the same. And that is pretty much it. So I have a stack of. This is all my stack of games that I've played so far. I highly recommend this game. I think this is probably one of my favorite, baseball games. Like I have Stratomatic baseball. I have Payoff Pitch, and I have History Maker baseball. I find that in the last couple weeks, I've been playing nonstop Inside Pitch. It's been like I really enjoy it. I don't know if I'm playing it the right way. There's certain things in the game I struggle with, like strategy rolls. I just feel like it's impossible to do to do a steal because you have to do there's ratings on the hitter's card and the batters and the pitcher's card. And you have to roll the D20, and there's a certain number that you have to have. And it seems that I never had the right number, and I can never do a steal. And if I do a steal, it's like the guy gets thrown out. But it's an interesting game. The thing is, it takes a long time to play. Like sometimes I have to break the game in sometimes it takes over an hour to play. But it's a really good game. I highly recommend it, and that's pretty much it.